Thank you, finally. Okay. Everybody talk, everybody talk. What'd I do? What'd I do?
I had to meet, did you hear me talking to the dad right now?
No, luckily not.
One of my students, obviously, has been telling her dad, like, I just need help with the work and my teacher's not helping me. I'm asking her for help and she's not giving me help or responding. And she has a couple missing assignments. I mean, she has a B, like an 80 something, but she has like 3 missing assignments. So on Monday, she puts a private comment on her Google Doc in Google Classroom saying, is there office hours today? I didn't see it. It's a private comment on a Google Doc, randomly in the Google Classroom. I didn't see it. So then her parent, her dad, called the office. It was basically like, my wife and I have so many concerns about our daughter's teacher, Miss Ogus. Out to her for help. She's not getting the help that she needs. Blah, 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 blah.
Cause like you're just ignoring them, or that's what they think.
They think I'm just ignoring her. And I'm not. And so,
Cause you don't actually see it, right?
yeah. And then, so the girl in the office who took the phone call wrote an email about what the dad said. And put Mr. Neighbors and Mrs. Ridgway on it. So they could see all my business.
Uh-oh.
His dad's complaining or whatever. And then I said, that's very interesting because I don't have any emails from the student or father at all for this entire quarter. So I'll follow up with dad tomorrow. Very odd. So then on Tuesday, I emailed the dad.
That was fun, huh?
Tuesday morning or
Hey,
Monday
look,
night,
guys, a sway face.
I emailed the dad. No, I responded to the office email saying I would call him the next day. And then that night, like at 8 p.m. on Monday night, I get an email from the dad. He sounds really mean.
Really?
Yeah.
Like mad?
Yeah, mad. Saying he's seen the emails that his daughter sent. And that I didn't respond and he doesn't know why. Either I'm not getting the emails or I'm not responding for some reason. And they're very concerned and blah, blah, blah. He sounds so mean, right? And again, he put on the email Mr. Neighbors and Mrs. Ridgway. Basically like trying to put me on blast in front of the office, right?
Yeah.
And she's a good student. She has like a B. She just didn't do 2 assignments. Like, you just didn't do them. I don't know what else to say.
It's not my fault.
And the one assignment that she didn't do was that stupid Google Slides thing that had all the videos. Where you had to watch the video and then slides.
I see why she didn't do it.
But like, it's so...
It's easy.
And easy, right? It's not like you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, it's easy. It's just time consuming.
So she didn't do it and then put a private comment saying that she didn't know how to do it or it wasn't working. And then I responded saying she has to watch the video on the slide. And then the next day she posted a picture of a notebook paper saying, here's my picture of my work. I did the best I could. And I was just dumbfounded. Like, I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. And I just left it. Like, I just stopped talking to that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so when I get the dad's email, he's so mean. I just responded saying, are you available to meet for a parent conference? And he was like, I said, here's my availability, and I gave him 2 possible time slots for yesterday. And he responded again. He sounded so mean. He goes, like you, I'm a teacher too.
Oh.
I'm going to be in class until such and such time. So can you accommodate an afternoon meeting time?
If he's a teacher, why isn't he helping his daughter?
And maybe for me, it was like my own like sensitivity that like he's being mean.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't trying to sound mean. But my perception was like, wow, rude.
Yeah.
Like, excuse you if you're a teacher. Like, give your kids.
I mean, like, if he's such a teacher and all this and that, why isn't he helping his daughter?
Right.
If he's so all out.
I took it kind of rude, but I was still being polite. And I said, yes, I can do Wednesday at 3:45. Let me know if that works for you.
Good for you.
And then he responded back saying, that's fine.
Ew, sorry.
Before I could even respond to the email,
Honey bunches.
said, how will this meeting take place? Will it be a Zoom, a Google Meet, a phone conference? What's the plan? And again, it sounded rude, right? So I'm just like dreading it this whole time, like, oh God, this dad, he's so rude, blah, blah. I need to be prepared. I was already telling myself. So I did my research, and that's how I figured out. She gives me these private comments, and then I respond, but then she doesn't do the work, right? And so I had all my notes, I was prepared. I had all her stuff pulled up on my computer, ready to go. So I sent him a Google Meet invite to him, the daughter, and his wife. And I emailed him back and I said, hey, a Google Meet will work really great. I sent you an email invite to the Google Meet. Let me know if you did not get it. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow at 3:45. And I just left it right there, right? So when the meeting started right now, I said, I feel like maybe I should start the meeting. I just want to respond to your concerns. I do feel like there was a miscommunication in the beginning of the quarter between Emily and me not understanding.
Tell us what your mom is saying to use for $5,000 sent by Merbeast6000.
I said, so for me, I have my Google Classroom notifications turned off because in quarter one, I was getting hundreds of notification emails a day.
Yeah, like how do I do this? How do I do that? What's the deal?
Yeah, every time a student makes a comment, every time a student turns in something or unsubmits it or resubmits it, every time somebody posts a comment on the stream, I said, I was getting hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. So for me personally, I don't use Google Classroom notifications. So unfortunately, some of Emily's private comments that she made on her Google Docs didn't get responded to right away. There was a delay. So when I went to go grade the assignment, then I would see her private comments. So I have talked to her about that. I said, I am sure you understand that sometimes when we think we're being clear, maybe it's not being perceived as clear. That email is the best way to contact me, a direct email if there's a question or a concern or when an assignment has been turned in. And he was like, okay. And then I said, and I want to address her assignment that's missing. And I showed him, he had her pull it up on her Chromebook and show him the assignment. I said, it's a Google Slides and she has to watch the video and then answer the questions on the slide for the video for all 8 slides. I said, and I do appreciate her turning in a picture of a notebook of some work that she did, but I'm just not sure how that paragraph translates to the 8 slides and 8 video reflections that were the assignment. And he was 100% on my side. At that point, being a teacher, being experienced, he realized like she's just trying to get out of some things that she didn't want to do and just making it seem like she didn't know how to do it. And probably because she still had like a good grade, she just didn't care and didn't really want to do it. Like, if you could have gotten away without doing that assignment, you would have not done it too, right?
Oh yeah, that assignment's like not fun.
Yeah, so he was like, okay, Emily. And I said, I would normally accept a handwritten work like that. I go, but in this situation, there was just no way for me to read that. I have no idea what she even wrote about. He's like, oh no, I completely understand 100%. He was like, putting her on blast. He's like, okay, Emily, so I'm going to say you have 24 hours to translate the paper that you wrote to these Google Slides. He goes, since you did them all, right? You did all 8 slides and you wrote them all down on paper, you should be able to type them really fast, right, Emily? He was like totally calling her.
Oh, he was saying that to his daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so mean.
So I was like,
I've been so mad.
I was like, okay.
Why is this?
And then he said the same thing I always say, right? I'm not sure if your teacher's going to grade it or not. That's her discretion, but you're still going to do the work. You know how I always say that.
So he went from like being mean to like on your side.
Understanding that like his daughter just
Messed up.
Yeah. And you know, it's hard to be mad at me when I'm being so friendly and nice and smiling and looking so pretty. So thankfully, it was painless for me. And then the second assignment that she didn't do is a template that I made. I don't know if Mrs. Duncan is having you guys use it. I think she is. It's a template that I made where you have to copy and paste your TCI highlights to a Google Doc.
No.
To make like a Cornell note?
No.
No?
Mm.
Oh. She said she was going to use it. I made it.
Maybe she did. Maybe I just don't maybe I'm just
remember?
Yeah, maybe I'm just not remember.
It's basically a Google Doc that's a 3-column notes chart.
Huh.
And you have to go to TCI and copy and paste whatever you highlighted and paste it into the Google Doc.
Oh, and I found my missing work.
For math?
Yep. And one of them, I already did it. I got 98% on it.
So did you email her?
Yep, but she just did not understand.
And you said I
said, Miss Spina, I did this assignment and you're telling me I have 2 assignments missing, so I'm confused. Can you please like clarify what I'm missing? Please.
Okay. So anyways, I only set them up the template for the first 2 sections of the reading, and then they were supposed to fill in sections 3 through 6 on their own. And he was totally like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. I was like, so Emily unfortunately didn't know how to add. Remember I told you how she said she didn't know how to add rows to a chart in a Google Doc? And you said that's just an excuse? Mm-hmm. You were right. So I said she didn't know how to add additional rows for the sections 3 through 6. And he made this face like, excuse me, like, oh hell no, she doesn't know how to do that, right? He looked, he said, Emily, do you know how to do that? And she goes, yes, I do now. And he goes, okay, perfect, so you're gonna get that done. And she was like, yes. And I said, so I did leave her a comment on the 20th, that was before we left for the break, to go ahead and resubmit it for a grade when it was completed all 6 sections, but she still only has the first 2 sections. And then he looked at her, he goes, Emily? So Emily? Done today, right? And
what Emily is this? Maybe I know her.
Kadzo?
Oh, I don't like her.
She kind of looks like a boy.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like a boy. And she looks like she's sitting in a dungeon.
Yeah, huh?
With the wood. The wood dungeon.
I got you.
It's a bunk bed, I think, right? She's sitting underneath the bunk bed. It's like her bunk bed's just the top bunk, and then underneath is a desk. But it looks like she's in like a wood shed cabin or something. Anyways, he was like, so Emily, you should be able to get that done tonight, right? And she was like, yeah. He goes, you could go do that right now, actually. He goes, why don't you get started on that right now? And Kelsey's like, bullshit. And he was just like, wow. He goes, he goes, I really appreciate.
I felt her pain. That's not nice.
He was like, I really appreciate your time so much. And I just spot it back on him. I go, no, I really appreciate you reaching out to me. That there was a confusion and miscommunication. Otherwise, I would never know. I said, because I just see Emily as like a very diligent, intelligent, good student. So I just figured she's gonna do the work or not do the work. But she never really told me that she was confused. He goes, no, I understand.
So you went from being the like annoying parent
to being nice and fine. He's just very matter of fact. Because he was very like, Emily, you know how to do that, right? Yeah? Okay, so I expect you're gonna get it done. And she was like, yeah. He's like, okay, yeah. He's kind of like the boy version of me. We have CrossFit. I really just want to take a nap.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
No, we have CrossFit.
Well, if you're tired, then do whatever you want.
I know, but I also want to be fit and healthy.
Okay. It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do.
Did you take some things down from the attic?
Not yet, no.
I thought I heard you making some noise out there.
Oh, then that's why she finished. Maybe she did it.
No.
No. Love you. Can you close the door, please?
No, I can't. I can't close the door.
Okay.
You don't need privacy.
Okay. That's not. Love you.
Do you have your window open?
Yes.
It doesn't look like it.
Then I'll go look right now. Love you. Woo! Damn, that was a lot. Okay, Tata, are you there?
Should I bring my phone in here?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, I did.
Huh?
Yes, I did.
I might win my first ever game of Fortnite. Love you, Mom.
Love you.
Hey, Tai. Tai. Call Tai Tai.
Calling Tai Tai. Home.
Are you on the stream?
Hmm?
Are you on the stream?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm actually slapping.
I know, dude, you have like 7 kills.
You don't gotta be sarcastic, I'm actually happy. Wait, you're actually watching still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you left.
Huh.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Comment, I wanna say hi.
Okay.
Woo! Dude, I have monies, I have gold. I don't know what to do with it, but I have it. I have it and I want more of it. Hey, Tai Tai. Do you think I can win, Tai Tai? Tyler, where's that glitch we can get all the XP at? I wanna go there. Where is it? Tata, where is it? Hi, nerd. Woohoo.
Hi.
I could win.
It's
Willow.
your boy.
I don't know who It's Your Boy is, but this noob. I'm so mean. Oh, I see you. Do it, nerd. So thought. Damn. Shit. I'm lagging.
I'm bit. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner.
Stop, Tyler. Tyler, I swear. Start doing that now. I'm gonna ban you from the stream.
Don choke on choke don choke don choke don
Tyler,
choke don
stop.
choke.
Let's go, baby. Ah. Let's go.
Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner.
Ah.
Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for
I'm too
beginner.
good.
Emoji Japanese
Stop,
symbol for
Tyler.
beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji
I'm kicking you
Japanese
out.
symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner.
You're going Timmy outie. I'm putting you on Timmy out. I'm gonna put you on Timmy out. I'm gonna put you on Timmy out. Easy collabs. Dude, easy. Cracked. Do what? Should do.
Madababarinar. Skipping some comments. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for
Call
beginner,
Tai.
emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese skipping the rest. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese skipping the rest. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 B, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 BB, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 symbol for beginner, emoji Japanese 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 symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner, 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 emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. 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 Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner.
Oh, there you go. I have it muted so we can talk on thing. Alright, whoever's here. Tyler, Big Chuggus. Bounty, yes, I want a bounty.
Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese
Tyler,
symbol
I said
for
once.
beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese
Tyler.
symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner.
Tyler,
Emoji
why?
Japanese symbol for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol for beginner.
Tyler, now you're being
Emoji Japanese
oh
symbol
my
for
God,
beginner.
man.
Emoji Japanese
Tyler,
symbol
why?
for beginner. Emoji Japanese symbol
Why,
for
what?
beginner.
Why you keep spamming
Emoji
me?
Japanese symbol for
I'm
beginner.
not spamming you.
Yes, you
Emoji
are.
Japanese symbol for beginner.
Finally, Jesus fucking.
Am I though?
There's Fortnite for you guys. Okay, well, time for